Hello everyone, my name is Alexey, and today I want to tell you about the mistake using Fetch API most developers make every day. Most developers assume that we can parse JSON after getting the response, catch errors using try-catch construction, but actually we can't do that. In this video, I will tell you how to process responses from the server in a right way and how to never make this mistake again. Please like and let's get started. Okay, let's move to the code and let me show you what I have here. Here I have function load user, this function which fetch the user. I am using async await syntax, so I am getting result from my fetch to JSON placeholder /user, so it's free API service. Then I immediately call JSON method and awaiting the result. So I am showing this because 99% cases we are fetching data from a specific source and getting JSON as a result. So we need an object, yes? Then I am assigning data into variable user and logging it into a console. Also, I wrapped this into try-catch and want to process errors with this try-catch construction. Interesting thing here is that I intuitively inspect to fall into this catch block if I will have an error, for example 404 or 403 forbidden, or an error from the server, for example 500 code. Yes, but actually it doesn't work. Let me show you. For example, here we have valid request for user. I will request user with ID 1 from JSON placeholder. Let me refresh the page. And I can see here my user with name, phone, username, website, email, company address, and another information. But what if I will try to request non-existent user? According to the docs, JSON placeholder has only 10 users, and if I will try to get, for example, user with ID 109, it will return 404 to me. Okay, 109, let's have an experiment. Cool, we received 404 here from request. But we didn't fall into catch block. We have an empty object here, and this empty object came from 7 line, so we didn't fall into catch block. What's going on? Okay, let's try to understand. And here I need to say that any request with response using fetch, native fetch, is valid if the response has been received. We can fall into catch block only on network error, can't connect, connection interrupted, etc. And the interpretation of status codes is left to the developer. We have to consider it every single time working with fetch and processing different server responses. So let me show you the correct processing of different statuses using fetch. Okay, let's refactor our code. Now I'm planning to send different messages into the console, depends on result status. So if result status equals to 404, I will log an object into my console with property message, and as a message I will have not found. Also, I want to process situation when my backend will be unavailable. So it's 503 status code, so temporarily unavailable service, and I will process it something like res status equals to 503. Yes, and I will log in my console object with message service is unavailable. Cool. And also I have to process 200 status code when I will have my user and all will be okay. So if res status equals to 200, I need to parse my response, get user and log it. So let's do it. And let's refresh our page. And if I will have 404, I will have a message in my console, not found, so it's valid. And if I will change 109 to 1, user with ID 1 exists, I will have my user, so with name, phone, username, address, company, etc. And now we can handle 404 or other status codes in a correct way. You can process it this way and maybe write your own wrapper if you work with fetch in big projects. So I will show you one primitive util function you can use to process your response from the server. Here I've built maybe the most primitive response processor function, which will process the response from the server based on statuses. And as parameter I will have response. Also inside my function I will have error response status map. As key I will have numbers of my error statuses, for example 404, and as value I will have explanation for the status, so 404 not found, 503 service is unavailable. Also I can add here, for example 403 forbidden. And if I will have my response status in these keys, in keys of error response status map, I will return an object with status error and message corresponding to a specific status. For example, for 404, I will have here not found. And if I will get, for example, 200, so it's success, I will parse my data using response.json method and return status OK and my data. Yes, as idea, you can use, instead of not found or service is unavailable, some translation keys for different locales. And for English locale, we will have not found, service is unavailable. For example, for Russian locale, we will have информация не найдена and сервис в данный момент недоступен. And let's look at usage of this primitive function. The usage is pretty easy. Whenever you want to perform a specific request to the server, you need to wait for your response and pass it into response processor function. Then wait for data and do what you want. For example, I want to log my data, and in console I will have status OK and as data my user, so ID1, name, phone, username, website, address, company, etc. But if I will have 404, so let me perform request to non-existent user, for user with non-existent ID, I will have an object with status error and message not found. Okay, in this video we'll look at how to correctly process various statuses when using the fetch and how not to make mistakes when processing various response statuses. Moreover, I showed you how to write a helper function for processing responses, server responses, this one, which will contain various statuses and their correct processing. Use fetch correctly and also watch my video about the intro to the fetch API. I left link in the description. Please like, subscribe, stay tuned. Please follow my Telegram channel. Please visit my GitHub and suggest topics for next videos. Bye.